to you.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, who match it?
Who watch it?
Yeah.
Last I saw no fufu being in
Anytime I'm
zoonotic animals be brave.
Anytime I'm apology, no. Before the alarm in town for because we are now the contum rene then they have a
Ebun is there. So it's
Ebun is different. All the actual like egusi
stew and the rest. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. I've yet to really experiment fully with fufu. I haven't found that
Please,
thing.
we are begging you.
Don't beg.
Yeah. If it ends up on the internet and Nigerians see it, we are dead.
Because say you can, especially with in cutting kwan, you can add a bit of shito in the soup to give it a little.
Okay, you can add pepper, so that's not.
Yeah. It gives it some nutty kind of spicy kind of, But I digress. It's Funky Friday, and the one, the only Kojo Q is in the building. To some of you, he's an absolute legend, and I couldn't agree more. What is the hive called? The Kojo Q hive called?
Unfortunately, I do not have a name for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not have a name for it. Like, there are different names that people use.
Okay.
Yep. Shout outs to Koshi. Koshi came out with the cuties.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so Kojo Q fans are the cuties.
Yeah, but we'll keep that for the women.
We'll keep that for the women.
I don't know if the men want to be cuties.
They don't want to be cuties. But it's definitely good to see you. For the uninitiated, Kojo Q is a Ghanaian hip-hop artist. Am I right? Would we call that hip-hop artist?
Yeah, hip-hop is right.
Hip-hop artist,
is right as
hip
well.
life artist. And he's also a songwriter, a lyricist, one that weaves tales of African life through a lens both introspective and socially aware. Okay, so it's also a fusion. The music is a fusion of hip-hop, hip life. And can I add Afrobeats into the mix? Am I allowed to add Afrobeats into the mix? Would you?
Hip-hop, hip life, high life.
Hip-hop,
Afrobeats, yeah.
high life, hip life, Afrobeats, paired with his philosophically tinged narrative style, mirroring the creative forces behind rap titans like Jay-Z, Nas, J. Cole, Daddy Lumba, or Brafo. I mean, that is quite the fusion.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Daddy Lumba, J. Cole, or Brafo. And I think we can certainly find that fusion in your music. How has 2025 been so far?
It's been amazing for me. As most people know, I took a break from music for a bit, and then I came back in 2024. So 2025 is like my first year fully back active. I'm on my third release so far, and the love has been amazing. Yeah, and just like in general, I think it has been a good year for me, It has been a good year. The fufu was, you could tell from the fufu.
I could tell from the fufu. Yeah. As a variety of zoonotic animals, it wasn't an easy bowl at all. And I also mentioned that the hive is strong, the love is strong.
Yeah.
What do you think has kept those that love your music still on your musical train from the inception up until now? The love is consistent. Why is that?
I have, I'm not super sure, but if I have to choose one thing, I think it's because the music is so honest that it connects with them on a personal level. And then there are layers to it, and I talk about life so much. So at any point in time, life is happening to all of us. So they can still go back to something that I said, some song that I made, and then it still keeps them going. So if I had to attribute it to one thing, I'll say it's that.
Would you say that making music is akin to you going to therapy?
Yeah, for me.
Or do you also go to therapy?
I have been to therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been to therapy, but music was the first place that I could journal. It was the first place that I could go and pour out my emotions, my frustrations, and whatever. So even till today, I mostly make music for me first. When it's how I communicate. It's how I vent. When I am going through whatever it is that I'm going through, it inspires songs. I make them, and then they are there. Sometimes I share some of them with the world, but a lot of them I don't even share.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So there's unreleased music that for you're using to express yourself, and hidden somewhere.
Yeah, it's just there.
Maybe before you leave this earth, you let us hear some of this unreleased music, or that one there to the grave.
Now, maybe after I leave,
We know what problem.
A nest of kin,
Oh my goodness! Could some of that spark some controversy if we hear what's going on in your innermost brain?
Probably. Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably. Yeah, there's even been moments when you know in rap sometimes somebody will try you and stuff.
Okay.
And then people go back and forth. I decided not to do the back and forth with people, but I can't escape the emotion.
Okay.
So there's been moments where somebody has said something, and I ended up making a bunch of songs that I just didn't put out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So maybe some of those, might start conversations and.
Okay, but we can maybe hear the Ekutie Beyond the Grave.
That one there.
Maybe that could be the title of the album, Beyond the Grave. To whom it may concern, receive your shots, dead or alive. Your next of kin can also receive this shot.
Ekutie Beyond the Grave. I like that.
Listen, we're on to something. But for the uninitiated, those who are maybe only hearing about you today, they've only just tuned in and they want to know how you got started in music. Tell us a little story. Where did it all begin?
It began with an Obrafo song, Adeng. It was the first time for me as a kid that I was hearing somebody talk about life in general with music. Before then, I just thought music was for entertainment and, just boogie and whatever. And then I heard him describing life and some of those type of things I had seen. And before then, I just loved to write little essays and read.
Okay.
And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, Charlie, this is super cool. I wrote down his rap and learned to recite it. And I was like, oh, I could do this by myself. And then I just started doing it as a hobby. When I got to high school, I did it to escape punishment because, sometimes when the seniors want to bully you or whatever, they'll ask you if you can rap, they'll let you go.
Okay.
And I started doing that as well. But then after high school, I started taking it seriously. I think I put out my first professional recording sometime in 2010. Yeah, but even then, I was still in school, so I'll put stuff out on the internet, and then I'll just focus on school. I finished uni in 2014, and then I got signed to BBNZ.
Okay.
So that's when I can say the journey actually began.
Took off.
Yeah.
We say you can learn a lot about somebody by tracing their childhood and what that was like. What was it like growing up in Bantama? Am I right?
You're
spot on.
Yeah.
The memory is strong. The memory is strong.
Yeah. I grew up in different parts of Kumasi, to be fair.
Okay.
Because I was moved around a lot when I was a kid, from one auntie to another granny to whoever, all over the city. But I kind of identify with Bantama because it was the place that I will always return to as like a reset.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in my older years was like the last place that I was at. So Bantama back in the day, it was fun. Big house filled with cousins, aunties, whatever, and then the whole neighborhood everybody took care of everybody. Everybody was in everybody's business. Everybody knew everybody. Yeah, it was fun. When you're a kid, you can get up to a lot of mischief, for sure, but it was fun.
Is that missing in modern Ghanaian life, that sort of extended family life? I grew up in Accra in a house full of cousins as well. Aunties came and went. And these days, life is super quiet. I finish work and it's just, it's really just me. It's very quiet. It's very different. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's missing. I miss that myself. I don't know if the new generation will miss that because they didn't
experience
even know it. Yeah. But for those of us who grew up like that, there's a sense of community that you just can't get anywhere else. And in a way, I think that's even contributed to the idea that Africans can get depressed. Because when you're around so many people all the time, sometimes you shelve some of the emotions for so long because, and sometimes we just like you need people to talk to. People are always talking. There's always something that's coming up, so it keeps you occupied, keeps you in the moment. So it's definitely something that we are missing.
That's an interesting perspective, because it's like twofold. It's either there's so much activity, so much fun happening that you can almost park some of that negative feeling, because there's action, there's something happening, someone else is in trouble, not you, so that's your source of entertainment. Or, like you said, you're up to no good. Or on the contrary, at least there's somebody to listen to you, there's somebody there to share your problems with, at least, if you there's one cousin or somebody that can maybe bail you out. And so I think that's beneficial. Life is very different these days. But speaking about mental health, speaking about depression, how much does that shape the music that you do? So if you're in a good place, what does that mean for you lyrically, productivity wise, vis-a-vis when you are not in a good place? How does that pan out?
Unfortunately, I create the most from pain, unfortunately. So when I'm when I'm going through a thing, I cannot immediately create, but once I've dealt with it, it will spark so many like songs or whatever in different ways. When I'm in a good place too, I create from those good feelings. But I find that I'm more creative when I'm talking about like the problems as compared to like enjoyment. I need to come for some enjoyment lessons.
I feel like a lot of creatives can definitely like identify with that. There's just something about wanting to release that negative energy that sparks that creative genius. I don't know what it is, but you'll often hear a lot of creatives are tortured souls, if you will, which is unfortunate. You have some new music out. We're going to get to it in due course. But I hope that doesn't mean that, the mentals are a bit shaky. If we're creating when the environment is not as bright and light. No.
So once you hear the music, it means I've dealt with that situation and I'm done. If I haven't finished dealing with it, I cannot make a song. And then if I make the song, by the time you get to hear it, like I've totally like dealt with it and I've moved on like beyond. Because I know that once it comes out, people will ask questions. So I don't want to put it out at the point when I'm still
dealing with it yourself. Now, when would you say that you and you don't have your headphones on, but we do have some Kojo Q in the background, of course. We'll be playing some of the music as we go along. There we go. So you can pop that on. Now, in fact, what's playing in the background? What's playing in the background, actually?
This is Smiling. For my brother's album. It's me, Show Them Camp, and Lady Donley.
Okay.
Produced by Jews.
For a second, I was like, am I listening to Unsabeka? Because it also serves as the intro for that song. And if you are an ardent listener of 3FM Sunrise, it's a staple on the show because it's one of my favorites. It's very uplifting because Lai Unsabeka. When would you say that you really felt successful as an artist? When was that moment when you thought, actually, we've hit the jackpot? This thing is about to really pay the bills.
I think the first moment was when I did Pen and Paper with Shaker. For the 2 years that we were together, it was an amazing run. Like we went as far as opening up for Lauryn Hill on her tours. So those were like great times. Those were great times. Like you go everywhere, the energy that you're receiving from fans, from people, and then of course the shows are coming to that comes with money as well. So that was the first time.
And prior to that, was there ever a time when you thought, actually, maybe I should give up on this dream because the journey doesn't feel like it's about to be fruitful or it's going to be fruitful?
So before I was done with uni, I remember saying a prayer to God that if this is not the path for me, by the time I am done with national service, if this is the path for me, by the time I'm done with national service, I want to be signed to a label. So when I get done with national service, if I'm not signed to a label, I'm not going to make music professionally again. I always make music because, like I said, it's me writing in my journal.
That's right.
But I'm not going to pursue the dream of being an artist. And I got signed to BBNZ before I finished like my last papers.
Prayer answered.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, you want me on this path for whatever reason, so I am going to stay on this path. Yeah, so for me, because of that prayer, I'm kind of going to keep going at this until my soul is satisfied. I do other things that are more rewarding, like quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, like they by quickly you understand what I mean, like, because with music you can go 3 months no show, streams, no, they go like that, and then in like the 4th month is Easter, and then you have like 10 shows.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then or you have like one endorsement deal, and then it's like
you're sorted for like the next 6 months.
Yeah, understand. Yeah. Sometimes that can be tricky for some people. Yeah, so there are definitely other things that I do for a constant whatever. But this is God's work.
Now, being signed to a label, what would you say is the major benefit for any artist? And then I'll also ask about what your experience was like being under a label. And in today's world, do you think it's beneficial or essential?
Yeah, so when you sign to a label, what you're getting is a machinery, sort of. Because there's so much that goes into making a superstar or creating a hit or whatnot. And I can't lie, it's not a thing that you can do on your own. Yeah, you can't do it on your own. Even if you don't sign to a label, you have to build a team to do that.
Right.
And sometimes that can cause a burnout. Plus, if you're building a team, depending on who you have on your team, if they are not people that are already like deep in the industry, you are now coming to build the things that the label has already built over years. You know, so the label can do things faster than maybe you can do it. Another big part of it is also financing.
Okay.
Because for them, that's what they do. Most of the time, they have the financials on lock already. Yeah. So it's very, very possible to work without a label. In fact, I advise that until you get to a certain level, you kind of stay away from labels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you would say do it the reverse. Like if you can do it the reverse, do it that way. Set yourself up and then connect with a label.
Yeah, so that you have more leverage when you are negotiating. Yeah, because if the label, if they are picking you up, and this is what always like causes trouble 3 years down the line. Because somebody will put a song out, it gets like some small hype, they haven't built anything, then the label wants to pick them up. At that point, because they are new, because they haven't built anything, they do not know what their true value over a 3-year period, over a 5-year period is. At that point, their value to them is an Elantra.
Okay.
Right? So then the label buys them an Elantra, signs them for 5 years. They get 20% after recoupment. And then 1 year in, they are superstars. And all of a sudden, they start to feel like the 20% is not enough.
Like they start to feel, actually, listen, I have arrived.
Yeah,
I'm the star here. I'm the one that's paying the bills. Why is my cut 20%?
20%. But then the label took like a big risk. You understand? They took like a massive risk because it could have gone either way. And they invested money. And when people think of labels and labels taking big percentages, I think that what they don't consider is that the label employs like so many other people.
Of course.
You understand? So it's not like, oh, it's just one guy at the label that's taking 80%.
It always feels like that, right? There's one evil boss there laughing, just collecting your checks, but there are overheads, there's staff, there's all of that.
Yeah, like there's a whole like group of people where you can negotiate contracts that increase with like metric-based increases. So you're not like, oh, okay, if I get my first 10 million streams, if I get my first 30 paying shows, it moves from 20% to 40%.
Interesting.
If I get then you can do those things. But you need a lawyer in the building, and then you need to keep some it's either you're going to do all of these or just be honorable and then know that, okay, I signed a bad deal in the beginning, but 4 years is not too long. Let me ride it out. When it's done, I'll negotiate a better deal for myself.
Kojo Q's putting us on serious game this morning. Musicians, get your pens and papers out, okay? This is free game, free intel. The BBNZ days were good days. The BBNZ years were good years.
It started off on a high because BBNZ was a label that I always aspired. Who
was on there around the time that you were on there?
EL.
EL. Okay.
Yeah, EL was the main person. Shaker was on there as well.
Okay.
I think when I got there, Kwesi Oten was also on there, and Gemini was either there or he was just leaving. Yeah, so that was the core of the label. But there were also a lot of affiliates around that time who, came around and worked with us all the time. We had Bedi also in-house producer. So it started off like on a high.
Okay.
Because I was young and I thought, the label are going to take care of everything for me and then I can, relax. Because up until that point, I was doing everything by myself. I have a mind for marketing, so I was doing a bunch of that. But what I didn't understand was that part of the reason that they also wanted to sign me because they could see that, I was handling things and I had a mind for marketing. I could do that. So when I got there, I was on a high and then I relaxed.
Right.
And then things kind of slowed down and I started blaming them. Yeah, I started blaming them for it. And so we had a few years of friction as well. And then I had a proper sit down with one of the bosses, Alvin.
Okay.
And then after the conversation, I was like, then we got back on our grind, and the result of that was Pen and Paper, which was extremely successful.
That was your 2017 album.
Yeah, and so it was an incredible experience being on BBNZ. I formed lifelong friendships from that. To this day, if I need advice or if I need a connect, Alvin is the one that I'm going to call. So I'll always be grateful for my time over there, both the ups and downs.
Amazing. I'm sure it's not just a rite of passage to have some friction with your label, but it's a different kind of business relationship, because for musicians this is their life, really. It's your life's work, it's your life's passion, and so the stakes are high. It's a different kind of journey that you're on, but it's always amazing to hear that or hear when artists are able to reconnect with the label and fences are mended and there's still that love and that connection. So well done to you, and well done to I guess the team as well for keeping it that way, because we know things can go left. So it's just that some of us, we don't try hard enough before we allow the bantama in us to take over. But what is it about getting older that makes you maybe more reflective and more calm?
Experience, I think. Yeah, you get to experience more. You get to see things happen to your friends, your family. You get to have more time to think about, why are we even here? What's my purpose and all those things. And the older you get, you also start to realize that, one day you're going to have to be out of here. I think all of that sobers you a bit. It keeps you in the moment. It keeps you focused on what's really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward 2 years after Pen and Paper, For My Brothers emerged on the scene, and I think my colleague Kawawa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's my brother.
That's your boo.
Yeah.
That's your cutie.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with that album. I think you already know that. And him, along with others, Tony's obsessed with that album. Many others. Why do you think For My Brothers has had such an impact on a lot of the people that rock with your music and love your music?
Once again, is honesty. I told a story about being a Ghanaian man, sort of, or boy into man, as honestly as I could. I thought it was just from my perspective, but after the album came out, I realized that it looks like those of us late 80s to 90s babies, we all had like very similar upbringing. So I think it cut across, and it's like someone's telling their stories for them.
And so would you say that For My Brothers changed the game in a particular way? What was the impact for you? We talk about the impact on the fans, those that support your music, but what about for yourself?
I think for myself, it solidified the Hive. You know, because I had been doing, even with pen and paper being super successful and all, people didn't used to talk about me the way they talk about me now.
Yeah.
People didn't used to be so tapped in the way they are tapped in now. Yeah, and I think For My Brothers was what finally did that. What finally made people buy into me as a person, as opposed to they like a song or they like how he raps and then they move on. Yeah, and then also it's till date, it is still my best streaming project. Yeah, so on the money side as well, it is super well.
The only critique I've seen though is that it wasn't, I don't think you submitted it for any domestic awards, am I right?
I didn't personally submit it, but my team at that time, they submitted it for I think TGMAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they didn't, and there was a lot of like,
there was,
about that.
I mean, a lot of frenzy about that.
Yeah.
You know, what do you have against domestic awards?
I don't have anything against domestic awards. I'm not, like, generally I'm not an awards person. I don't know why. Yeah, generally I'm not, even because I've won, like, for pen and paper we won Foresight. Yeah, we won Foresight Best Edited Video. They gave us 2 plaques. I gave my own to the director. Yeah, I think I won Ashanti Music Awards. It's with my cousin or somebody. I don't know where that is. I won another award in Eastern Music, whatever. I don't know where that is either.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not. The feelings about it are going to change in any way. Yeah.
Now there is a project of yours, 21 Memory Lane, which came out 2021, right? Now, I don't think it's one of your more or most talked about projects. It's an EP, but it's one that I really enjoy. I love the diversity on that EP, and there's a song on there that I've been obsessed with since 2021. It's the one with Ifya, also because I loved her vocals on that particular song. Talk to us about that project and whether or not we'll get something as similar. I think we got Don't Break My Heart is the song that I like. A very, I don't know, a very passionate side of Kojo Q, right? Yeah. When are we getting something similar?
Sometime in the future. I think this was supposed to serve as almost like an in-between project before the, yeah. I don't think they were surprised. They loved it, but I think the fans that are not really Hive loved it more than the Hive, because the Hive they want to hear more.
Oh, is that shots fired at me?
No.
Because I mean, loved it. But I remember at that time, I was like all too familiar with what it meant or felt like to be in a toxic space with somebody, right? To be in a toxic love affair. So I guess also depends where you are at the time when the music reaches you, makes the connection a bit deeper. And like I said, with this one that we're listening to in the background, I'll turn it up a bit. You've got Ifya in there, and I think her vocals were amazing. What informs your decision to collaborate with another artist?
The song kind of leads the way. It's whoever the song calls for. Sometimes it'll call for 2 or 3 people, and then you send it to all 3 of them, and then when they send stuff back, maybe someone has a stronger, verse or stronger delivery than another. But this specific song, to be honest, it was inspired by all the duets that Ifya and Sark have.
Okay.
I love their duets.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I wrote the song, because I wrote it to give to somebody else.
I see.
You see, I'm stuck between choosing a Lumba song or an Obrafo song.
Yeah, I thought it might be one of those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Obrafos are then I can sing word for word. I can sing a lot of Lumba songs word for word, even though you can hardly tell whether the lyrics are right.
Oh my God. If you could switch lives with another Ghanaian celebrity, maybe for a day, who would it be?
I've never thought about that.
So whose bank account do you want to enter? Because the first thing I'm doing is going straight to a withdrawal.
Oh, okay.
Or whose closet I like. Straight into the closet. I'm taking their clothes.
Okay. But you said celebrity.
Yeah, celebrity. Which celebrity?
Yeah, I'm
if
trying
it could
to
be
figure
them
out
for a
if
day.
there's a celebrity that has that much money that I want to be for a day. Is the president a celebrity?
Oh, okay. You want to be president so you can end Galamsey.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. We love that. See,
sure.
I didn't write these questions, but have you ever had a crush on an industry person, both locally and or internationally?
Oh, yeah.
Normal.
Yeah, multiple times.
All right. Mention, also multiple times, it's not easy. Mention 5 Ghanaian high life artists off the top of your head. High life.
High life.
Yes.
Dr. Pabobo, Daddy Lumba, Kojo Enchi, Amachi Dede, Kakeku number 2.
Love that.
I can do 20.
Make it easy for us. If you weren't doing music, what would be your number 2 profession?
Writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Writing fiction?
Fiction mostly, but it's historical fiction to be exact.
Okay.
Probably some self-help as well.
Exciting. Yeah. Okay, what's the craziest thing a fan has ever done for you? Or should I add done? I would have added done to you, but it's only 11:52, so let's keep it PG. Done for you.
People have sent me thousands of dollars and then forgotten that they sent it to me.
They didn't forget.
Yeah.
They didn't forget.
Maybe. Yeah.
And also, describe your love life in just one word.
One word.
In just one word.
The word was right there. I don't know why let me just go with great.
Great. Yeah. All right. That sounds like music to our ears. And would you rather a rich life, a wealthy life, or a happy life? Or does a wealthy life just mean a happy life? Is that what it is?
It's possible to be wealthy and not be happy. So,
okay.
But it increases the chances of being happy because all of your basics are covered for. When you don't have to worry about, when you don't have to worry about what to eat, where to sleep, when you don't have to worry about even movements, I can go anywhere at any time. If I see something that I like, I just pick it up and I move on.
Big facts.
I think that can fix a lot of your sadness issues. Unless they are like deep-seated that you need therapy for. Even therapy, you need the money to afford it. So
it's not easy.
Not easy, yeah. But definitely a happy life. Yeah.
Let's talk about the new single that you've got out. Tell us about it. We know you've got a feature on there, and then we're going to be getting into it. I think that's what's playing in the background. Yep. That's right. Talk to us.
Yeah.